There you go. This is Tom from the Plain White Tees, and I love Dueling Decades.
This is Podcast New York.
What's up, Dueling Decades? This is Wax. Peace to all you guys, and thanks for having me on the show. Will it be the 90s or the 80s? Beanie Babies or Crack Babies? Will it be Nirvana or Madonna? Maybe Britney, maybe Whitney. Do you like new metal or new wave? Dave Grohl or Super Dave? I don't know. But now the battle begins. Dueling Decades. Let's see who wins.
Dueling Decades. Broadcasting from the Podcast New York studios, it's another all-new Dueling Decades, the adult-only retro game show where the decades battle for supremacy. Because it's your history, we just fight for it. Welcome back. I am Marc James, and this week I'll be competing with the best of July 1986 alongside the other duelers and the decades they will be fighting for. First off, bringing the soulful sounds of the 70s, say hello to Mancrush.
What's up, everybody? That's right. I have July of 1976. And before we get into the episode, I just wanted to give a shout out to our boy Andre Gower, who just suffered a heart attack. Hopefully, everything it looks like he went home today, so that's good. But head on over to his Instagram. He has a great attitude about this whole thing. Seems like he showed a picture today of his shaved chest, and he was like, caption this. So head on over there if you're Monster Squad fans and Andre Gower. He's been on a couple of our episodes. And matter of fact, Mark was even saying, like, why don't you contact Andre to be on this week?
Yeah.
And man, that would have, I don't know if that would have saved him or not, but hey, get well, man. Get better soon.
Also returning to the show after being mistakenly locked in the Biodome, please welcome back Trevor Gumbal.
Oh, God, I was in there with Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin. It was a fucking nightmare. But yeah, I am here with the month of July, 1996.
And as always here on the show, we need somebody to adjudicate all of this awesomeness. You will know this week's guest judge as the Grammy-nominated frontman of the Plain White Tees. And you can check out his solo project, Million Miler, in the new album, Millie, available now. All rise and welcome Judge Tom Higgenson.
Hello. Hey, you guys, thank you for having me back. This is one of the coolest podcasts I've ever done, so I'm excited to be back.
Thank you. We need the soundbite.
There you go. This is Tom from the Plain White Tees, and I love Dueling Decades. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest will be held under Dueling Decades rules. The judges' coin flip shall decide who picks first out of the 5 Dueling Decades categories: movies, television, music, news, and hot products. A judge's ruling will determine who wins each round, allowing the victor to choose the next available category. The first 3 rounds are worth 1 point each, with rounds 4 and 5 worth 2 points apiece. And in the event of a tie, after all 5 rounds, we will go to a final wild card round. Remember, duelers, to like, subscribe, and play along at home. It's time for more Dueling Decades. All right, let's pass it down to Tom Higgenson for the coin toss to see who goes first this week.
Trevor, you call it.
Okie dokie. I will call Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to say I'm going to be flipping my brand new album on cassette tape. Because it is an 80s themed project, of course, I had to make it on cassette tape, go right along with brand there. So, yeah, instead of a heads or tails, we are going to do a side 1 and a side 2.
Very nice.
So, what's the call?
I will do side 2.
Ooh.
Okay, side 2, huh? Let's see what we got. I've never flipped a tape before. This is good. Ooh, it looks like it is side 1.
Ooh, all right.
So,
all right, Mancrush, you win the tape toss. You take control of the board and get to select our first category.
All right, I think this is fitting. Let's start with music.
Absolutely.
I like it. Nice.
It's so weird not being live and having Joe like give me hand signals and like tell me when to do things. So I'm just gonna go. So let's go to July 3rd of 1976. And there were a few ways that I could have gone here. I'm not saying that I loved what was released for the month, but I did have some options. This looked like, if I looked at this month as a whole, it looked like the official month of compilations. And that's just really not my thing. So once I came across this story, I had to go digging. This one is good and it's a first. All right. So we're going to talk about a real household name at the time. I don't know. I guess it depends on the types of movies your dad was renting back in 1976, if that was a thing. But the name here is Andrea Marie Trudon. And in the spring of 1976, Andrea put out her debut album. Of course, this was done under her stage name, which was Andrea True. And the name of that was called More, More, More. And this also went by her and her band's name. So that was the Andrea True Connection. And that little album right there, it would peak at number 47 on the US Billboard 200. And it featured 4 singles. It had Party Line, Keep It Up Longer, Call Me, not the Plain White T's song Call Me, of course. And her smash hit single, More, More, More. And of course, the name of the album, which would hit number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1976 in July. Couple interesting things here. For one, this album only had 5 tracks on.
Whoa.
But there's a reason for that. I'll get into that. But the last track of this album, so there's 4 singles and 5 tracks. So the only one that was not a single was a song called Fill Me Up. It's a good title, right? Anyway, in January of 1976, and this is why it's only a 5-song track or EP, Andrea True, she was hired to do some real estate commercials for some company down in Jamaica. While she was down there, Jamaica ends up putting a ban on all asset transfers. So basically, any money that she made doing these commercials was tied up, and she was only allowed to spend that money while she was in Jamaica. Since she wasn't able to leave with that cash, Andrea decided to invest the money into a studio demo, and she does a demo. They let her out of the country with the demo. She finally gets back to New York, and she plays a song for some of her friends, and she's immediately signed to Buddha Records to release this 5-song EP. And I mean, seriously, it's like kind of like one of them when life gives you lemon story right there, because she had a shit situation. She just nails it, right? The second part of this that's super interesting, Andrea True would become the first ever porn star to reach the charts. And according to the IAFD, which is the porn equivalent of IMDb for the Internet Movie Database, Andrea starred in 64 movies. And by the time this album was released, she already was in roughly 44 American pornos. And unfortunately, they didn't have a list of her foreign films from the 60s. So there's a bunch more out there. But I give you the Andrea True connection with More, 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 becoming the first ever porn star to chart on the Billboard. As a matter of fact, getting all the way to number 4. And I hope the songs kind of make more sense now. After listening to all five of these songs, I listened to them. They're pretty lengthy tracks. Like there's a 10-minute track on here. But I would be willing to bet that she wrote these songs. If you listen to these, I think you would agree. She wrote these 4 porn movies, brought them back, and just got lucky with this one song, and it took off. And by the way, More, 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 it's not like this is a throwaway. It was actually covered by Bananarama, covered this one. Yeah. It's been in a bunch of commercials. Matter of fact, it was one in just a couple of years ago for Applebee's. I wonder if they actually knew the history of the song before they put it on. And it was sampled in the 1999 track by Len, Steal My Sunshine. That's the beat that they got going on in the song.
Wow.
That's what I give you from July of 1976. It's the Andrea True connection. More, More, More.
All right, Trevor, what did you bring for the music round?
All right, guys, I'm going to take you back to July 30th, 1996. This album was like one of the soundtracks of when I was a sophomore in high school. Unfortunately, it was released not long before the lead singer passed away of a drug overdose. It reached number 13 on the Billboard charts, went 6 times platinum, featured 4 singles, What I Got, Santeria, Wrong Way, and Doing Time. And sadly, like I said, 2 months Actually, no, it was prior to the release. Brad Noel was found dead of a heroin overdose and didn't get to see the success of the album. So, but yeah, this was their last album, but it was their most successful. So for July, I give you Sublime's self-titled album, Sublime.
Love that album.
Very
Great
nice.
album.
Yep.
All right, guys. So for my music selection, in 1986, this frontman was coming off the success of a 1985 solo EP called Crazy from the Heat, which mainly consisted of covers and lounge singing staples. When he shocked the world by announcing that he was leaving one of the world's largest rock bands to pursue a solo career. So he formed an all-new all-star lineup of Billy Sheehan on bass, drummer Greg Bissonette, and for this album, he grabbed the ex-Zappa guitarist, who Frank himself called his little Italian virtuoso, Mr. Steve Vai. And on July 7th, 1986, David Lee Roth gave us his debut full-length solo album, Eat 'Em and Smile. The album peaked at number 4 on the Billboard 200 and was named Album of the Year by Kerrang for 1986. Now, Jeb Gottlieb of the Boston Herald said, Eat 'Em and Smile has both an immoral and a ridiculous aesthetic. Like a good cult film, Big Trouble in Little China or Raising Arizona, it seems cartoonish, unhinged, and out of another dimension. All right, so let's take a look at the songs that are on this album. The big single is, of course, Yankee Rose. It's an over-sexualization and a love letter to the Statue of Liberty. Fantastic song. Fantastic songs. One of my favorite DLR tracks. And then we go to, and that song, in Yankee Rose also was Ross' third top 20 solo hit. It reached number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. All right, and then we're going to get to the up-tempo Shy Boy. Now, this is where Steve Vai really dazzles with his solos and all his fills. All right, and if you liked Ice Cream Man back on Van Halen 1, then you're going to love the track I'm Easy. The rock soul jam, Ladies Night in Buffalo, is up next. And then we got two of my favorite tracks on the album, Going Crazy and Tobacco Road. And the album rounds out with Elephant Gun, Big Trouble, Bumping Grind, not the R. Kelly song, and a cover of the Frank Sinatra staple, That's Life. Overall, it's kind of like a fun party album, but what the hell? What else are you going to expect from Dave? So Eat 'Em and Smile, July 7th, 1986.
Is this the one where his face is like painted on the cover?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that my turn to bring it all in here? And
let's
choose
toss
one?
it over to our judge, Tom Higgenson, for the verdict on the music round.
Okay, so I will have to say, I feel like Mark. I love David Lee Roth. Probably more of a Van Halen, David Lee Roth kind of guy. Me and my son listen to Jump all the time. He was actually just the other day. His friend didn't know the song, and I felt like I was watching me, like as a little kid dealing with my friends, because he was like, "How do you not know Van Halen Jump? It's like the biggest song of the '80s." And I was proud of my boy, schooling
Very nice.
his buddies on the '80s. Yeah. But I think the David Lee Roth solo album, I missed that one. So unfortunately, I'm gonna pass on that one. And now this is a tough one.
Andrea True or Sublime?
Well, I mean, okay, so Trevor, I feel like we're probably the same age because I was like in high school at that same time. And as soon as you started talking, I'm like thinking, okay, wait, singer died. Before you even told me it was Sublime, I knew it was Sublime, because I lived through that. And that was, man, that guy, what a voice, Bradley Nowell. I mean, unbelievable. And just even the musicianship, as a musician and a producer and everything, like those Sublime albums, like no joke, they stand up 100% to this day.
Absolutely.
Just production, the quality, the songwriting, the vocals, everything about those albums are really ahead of their time and really, really amazing albums. So as much as I want to choose Sublime, I kind of feel like Mancrush's story, I don't know who the hell Andrea True is or whatever. And I don't know the song more, but I gotta say, that is a crazy ass story. An interesting take. Like, so she's in Jamaica or whatever you said. She can't make any money. So she puts her money into a demo.
Yep.
That then she brings, so the demo tape she brings to the States, and I'm assuming, I mean, if she wrote the stuff and it's hers and had a big hit, probably made, millions of dollars off of. So what an interesting, that alone is a genius move. Then throw in the fact that she's a porn star on top of it, and all the songs like Fill Me Up and Keep It Up or whatever the hell
Keep It Up Longer.
Keep It Up Longer. Yeah, I mean, it all makes sense. What a crazy ass story. And I think when you said, the kinds of movies your dad rented in 1976, that's immediately where my mind went. And I didn't think you were gonna take it there, but you did. So I'm
there weren't too many movies to rent in 1976. After I said that, I was like, the selection was slim. So it's most like, and like the crazy part was she went back to porn.
Wow.
For a couple, I looked through her IF, whatever the hell it's called, and she had some films into the 80s.
Oh wow!
And never duplicated that success, but unfortunately, she died. I think it was 2011 or 2012 in Kingston, New York, which is not that far from me, because she lived by like around the Bethel area where Woodstock is. But it said in the article that she lived off of the money from that track for the rest of her life. So she did pretty well.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
All for some commercials.
You win this round for sure.
Sweet.